At this point, even restructuring cannot save Nigeria, says Akogun Adeniyi. Akogun Chief Tola Adeniyi, former managing director of the Daily Times of Nigeria, has argued that even restructuring has been advocated by several individuals and groups in the south and middle regions cannot save the country. As according to him, a building that is about to collapse cannot be restructured. Chief Adeniyi, a veteran columnist and author who spoke to this reporter, said restructuring cannot be the solution in a country where certain groups feel that every other person doesn't matter. He said, "I don't talk about such things as restructuring anymore," he said. Restructuring? What? What are you restructuring? I have gone beyond talking about that. I was an advocate for restructuring maybe some 6 years ago, 2 years ago. I was also a champion of confederation. But I have come to the painful conclusion that confederation will not solve the problem we have. Restructuring will not solve the problem. You cannot restructure a building that is about to collapse. Chief Adeniyi dismissed talks of true federalism as a waste of time, noting that such cannot be the solution to the country's challenges. If you say you are restructuring Nigeria and they are talking about true federalism, you are just wasting your time. And the reason is simple. You are in a country where a section of that country says that every other person doesn't matter, he said. And that every land that belongs to every nationality in the country belongs to that single section. And you are saying you want to restructure. It's like the conference they had in 2014, which even went further to say that they could give 52 states when several states cannot even pay salaries. As long as Nigeria is still one country, restructuring, confederation, whatever cannot work. As long as the man in Enugu doesn't require visa to go to Sokoto, you are just wasting your time. If you are a murderer in Port Harcourt, you can't be stopped from going to Zamfara to continue to murder people there because they will tell you there is freedom of movement. So what are you restructuring? It will not stop what is going on. Asked what the solution to the challenge is, Chief Adeniyi said he didn't know, but that people should be able to draw their own conclusions. He said, "I don't know what will stop it, but I leave it to those who have common sense to draw their conclusions. We have gone too far to edge of the abyss. We are just on the precipice. We are just waiting for something to push us into abyss. Even if you restructure, but you are still in the same country with the person who has the mindset that Nigeria belongs to people all over Africa. What we still insist on that, and they will still insist on that, and the leader of that country can say, I'm bringing all the Igbo from all over the world to come and live in Nigeria, or I'm bringing all the Yoruba to come and live in Nigeria." Chief Adeniyi, however, said it will be difficult for the country to break up given the interconnection and the interrelationships among the various groups, but that hunger may be what will cause a Somalia-like scenario. People are getting to a stage in the country that middle class has been completely wiped out, not to talk of the growing multitude of seriously poor people and the growing shameless, undisguised and insensitive opulence of the few that had cornered the commonwealth of the country, he said. In such a situation, what will happen is what people normally say, that if the poor and hungry cannot sleep, the rich cannot give their snore. What will eventually happen is that the Amajiri and all the poor people we think are helpless and helpless will rise, and arms and ammunition are so cheap in the country. Don't be deceived by the closure of borders and all of that. Arms are smuggled into the country on a frightening scale by those who are desperate to get arms, and arms may eventually get into very many wrong hands that will rather die than continue to live in abject poverty. And like Prophet Muhammad prophesied 1,500 years ago. A time will come in the world when the living will pass by the graveside and wish that he were the one in the grave. We are reaching that stage in Nigeria. What I am saying is that yes, it is difficult to envisage a breakup of the country, but it is also very simple to envisage something happening. But the danger is that mode of it happening, the mode of breakup, it will be like a Libya. It will be like Libya, like Somalia, where warlords will just emerge and start creating their own freedom. That will be complete breakdown. And maybe those pieces of freedom may begin to come together and form alliances, and what we used to know as Nigeria may end up having 6 to 8 countries. Such a situation is usually very bloody and brings about mass suffering. Husbands could see their wives raped in their living rooms by ruffians. Mothers could see their children slaughtered in the open. Food for thoughts. This is really food for thought. Of course, this man is just still trying to be diplomatic, but he has been able to make his own submission. He has been able to make a valid points, and he said he has painfully concluded on his own that restructuring is not going to help the matter. And we know the people he's trying to talk about. We know the areas which he has already touched. Without being diplomatic or politically correct, we know that he's talking about Biafrans, and those ones have already channeled their course. I'm always saying it. I'm not a Biafran person, but when I see people who are doing the right thing, even if you think that they are not doing the right thing, where you are, even the Nigeria we are talking about, where we are now, is that the right place we are supposed to be, or the kind of life or what we are experiencing in the country, is that what we are supposed to be experiencing? Are we supposed to be moving forward, or are we supposed to be going backward? This man is not a Biafran person, but it's aligning with all the things that Biafran stand for, what they are talking about. That is what he's talking about. And that's why he said, when being asked that, okay, what do you think will be the problem? He's not envisaging break or maybe, because that one might not even happen. But before that war will happen, there must be a serious thing that will cause that to happen by fire, by force. And that is what is happening. Before somebody will go and quote him that he said it, he said that. But he has already made his own conclusion. From his own submission, you know what he believes and where he stands, on what and where he stands and where he's tending to. That is just the way it is. So everybody will know where is good for him or her. Just like I said, when the monarch said, the monarch from the southeast and south said they are joining Nnamdi Kanu, they believe in the struggles, they believe in what he's doing. And like I said, it is not by force. We see people from the Cross River and Akwa Ibom say, no, don't include us. They are very right. And wherever that suits you, you can stay there. Nobody's going to force you. And just like the man said, he has been able to touch everywhere. What we are talking on a daily basis, it is what a lot of people are experiencing. But those who have already, whether they have a appointment or they are destined, or they have a, what is it called? They have commitment, or they have there's a particular word I'm trying to use. Whether they have a covenant, yes, that is the word. They have covenant with suffering. Those are the people who are suffering and they are still smiling. Well, they can say they are okay where they are, good and fine, because some people are really aligned with poverty and suffering, so they love it, so they don't see anything wrong with it. So if you are talking about suffering and poverty, that you don't like it, they love it, they like it, they are used to it. So when you are saying that, it baffles them that why can somebody be saying he does not like or she does not like a poverty. So that is what those people, they can continue with that. You are very free to put yourself wherever you want to be. The man has said it and said the whole thing the way it ought to. Who is enjoying? Like he said, the average people, the middle class, they've been wiped away. He said that we have the super rich and the super poor. That is just what we have in the country now. Super rich and super poor. There's nothing like a middle class again. That's something that will force the breakup will come, but it's not going to come by a mere talk, or okay, let us just break, but something by fire by force will cause that to happen. I think from what he said, that is what I can really deduce from what he has said. Like he said, that when you are still talking about restructuring, that forget it. That 6 years ago you used to believe in that. Maybe 3 years ago you used to believe that. But very recently, he has painfully concluded that restructuring will never solve the problem. That is not the issue. And some people, from a different angle, some people are like, because even if you say you restructure, all these principalities and powers, they will go to all those regions to go and stand that, okay, they want to start from there. And that is what will happen. Some people believe it in different areas, or saying that it might not work. But from his own angle, he's saying even if you restructure, those people who feel that the country belongs to them, other people don't matter, or to be the leader is their birthright, it will still happen. When they will say, oh, all the Fulani in the whole world, they can come to Nigeria. What kind of country is that? Who does that? Who does that? And very few people made their own submissions here. Someone says it is good scales are falling off your eyes to see what others have been seen in 50 years ago. Tell me how animals and humans can share republic. Sir, true talk from you. And I thank God that Yorubas are now seeing what Igbos have seen long time ago. We are suffering today as a result of Westerners' alliance with the North. If not, Nigeria would have been a victory or a history today. Someone say we have to break up and every ethnic will go their separate ways. And someone say, well said, how do we start it? Who will lead us to promised land? If only the three geopolitical zones in the southern part of Nigeria, southwest, southeast, and south can unite strongly together and fight for total breakup of the mistake called Nigeria, then we are sure of actualizing it. At the end of the breakup, the three zones can choose to go their separate ways. It is my advice that they align together and fight this common enemy, or fight separately and continue to remain slaves to the Fulani oligarchs in Nigeria. And someone say, yes, Biafra and Oduduwa Republic are the solutions. Let everyone go his own way. Someone say, God bless you, sir. Breakup is the solution. Nigeria is breaking to smaller countries, bloody from beginning to the end. Prophecy, God will protect us, his children in Nigeria. And someone say, Akogun, you have said it all. For a section of the country thinking they owned everything is not only stupid but mad. God, please remember mercy. Spare your people from the troubles ahead. And someone said, true talk, is forceful marriage does not last. But the problem we still have is that the so-called people, even whether they are from the south, all over the place, the politicians, the so-called leaders, those who have installed themselves, calling themselves leaders, they are the problems all over. They are the problems all over. And just like this Akogun Adeniyi said, that something that they never expected, that we force the breakup, we just come. It's not as if it's going to come, oh, okay, you want to go your separate way, you don't want to go your separate way, because they will not even allow that. Restructuring, they will not allow that. Just this thing that, Amotekun that was just established, you can see the way they just came out like ants, like ants that, trying to gather sugar. They just came out. No, 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 no. We can't, we don't want Amotekun. Which one? What's it concerned with overload? Overload. People who are having headache say they know what they want to take to get their headache cure. You want to take the medicine for them. What is your problem? If not that you have a ulterior motives. So guys, I wouldn't want to talk much. Let's hear your take concerning what Akogun has said. Akogun Adeniyi, former managing director of the Daily Times of Nigeria. Please leave your comments below and let's hear your take. Bye.